February 18th, 2023. This was one of the happiest days of my life because I had just bought the brand new Nissan Z. This is when the Nissan Z just came out. Nobody could get their hands on it. I had called over 100 different dealerships over the course of about a month trying to find this car. I live in New Jersey. I flew all the way out to freaking Missouri and drove this car all the way back home. It was one of the best moments of my life. I'll remember that entire trip forever. And just a few months ago, you guys saw me sell this car. This was more than just a car. This was one of the biggest accomplishments in my life. This single-handedly was the most expensive car I have ever bought. And within the first 3 months of owning it, we built the whole freaking thing. We wide bodied it, we painted it, we put an exhaust, tuned it. We built one of the hardest Nissan Zs, all while nobody was even able to get their hands on one. I freaking loved this car to death. I drove the crap out of it. I constantly broke it. This car was so much freaking fun to own. Eventually it became like a car that just sat at the shop and everybody had their turn with it. And it absolutely killed me to have to sell it just a couple of months ago. August of 2025 is when I eventually sold this thing. And it was absolutely heart-wrenching to get rid of the car. I really wish I could have kept it. But when I sold it, I kind of told you guys why I wanted to sell it. And it's because of this right here. Well, not the G80. That's not mine. As much as I wish that thing was mine, that's just my brother's. He's just working on it, so we have it here for now. But what we're in is my new garage. This right here is my very own home garage. I finally have a place of my own. You guys saw that a couple years ago. I was renting a place and it was a nice big shop and it was really cool. And then for the past 2 years, I was working out of another place and it really wasn't mine. I never really had a place that was truly mine. But this right here is a place that is completely mine. And that's essentially why I got rid of the Nissan Z, is because I needed to get rid of that car in order to purchase my very first home. This is about half the garage, or the better part of half the garage. Behind this door right over here, we have some more parking for more cars and bikes and fun stuff like that. But that's not really what we're going to be working out of. That's kind of just storage. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But this is the garage that we're pretty much going to be working out of. It came down to the point where I had a decision to make. I could wait a little bit longer before getting my first home, or I could just go ahead and sell the Z, get my first home, and then keep going up and get something else. As much as I loved the Z, I'm probably not going to buy another Z. I do have a few ideas of what other cars that I want, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Let me take you guys off the tripod here so we can show you around. So this is obviously the main garage. Like I said, this is pretty much where we're going to be spending most of our time. We got the lift set up. Also, it's a black lift. As soon as I saw that they sell these things in black, I had to instantly get it because obviously you guys see the theme, black trim everywhere. I love the color black. It's my favorite color. So when I saw a black lift for sale, I absolutely fell in love. We installed it a couple of weeks ago. And when we first got this garage, it definitely didn't look like this. It looked a lot uglier. And over the past couple of weeks, keep in mind, I've only had this place for a couple of weeks. So for the past couple of weeks while we had it, we've been working on it. And it's not, obviously we didn't make that much progress because it's not only the garage, it's also the house that we've been working on. But I'm only showing you guys the garage today because this is the important stuff. We've made some decent progress. Obviously in this corner, we put a little bit more work. Now I want to start putting some more work into that corner. I really don't know what we're going to do. I was thinking about making this entire wall filled with flags. Maybe just get a bunch of Nobori flags for there. Maybe put the flags over there. I really don't know. Like I said, we are still filling up the garage and there's still a bunch that we need to do before this place is gonna start to feel like home. One of which is, by the way, these floors. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with these floors. The floors, I mean, they don't look, no, they actually, you know what? Yeah, they look terrible. These floors look absolutely awful, but it is way too cold to paint the floors right now. I do want to epoxy the floors, grind them down, epoxy them, and make them look beautiful, but it is just way too cold to be doing it right now. I think the ground has to be like at least 70 degrees to be able to coat the floor, and we're still having like damn near freezing temperatures here in New Jersey, and we're in May. So this is ridiculous. Until the warm weather comes, we are left with this ugly garage floor. As soon as the warm weather breaks, then we're gonna go ahead and coat the floors. So this is right past the door right here. This side is a little bit more crowded. How we were able to fit 2 cars in a 1-car spot, I don't know. Both of these cars have full lock, My BRZ does not, and somehow we still fit my BRZ in here before. Now Mike's car's in here because it was getting detailed earlier in the week. Look at that paint. Looks absolutely beautiful. Mike's car looks so freaking good. It just got freshly detailed and it looks absolutely amazing. Originally, the plan was to make this side really pretty, same thing, black ceilings, white wall, make the under half black, but then slowly I started to realize that this side is just getting filled up with shit. So there's really no point in trying to make it look pretty. Also, painting in between that would be just the worst thing ever to do. Painting there and painting right here, it would just suck. We just kind of left this side for storage. Now the goal is to eventually run out of storage and have to expand this garage. That would be the goal. So it's a really good base we got here. This right here is the new home base, and it's a pretty good setup we've got going on. It works for me just perfect. And if you guys remember what I was saying a couple months ago, this is exactly what I was going for. I wanted a place of my own with some land and big garage space. We have room for activities. We have room for projects. We have room for our friends' projects. So we've got, this is essentially what I was going for. This is exactly what I was going for when I had originally sold the Nissan Z. And as much as it pained me, it was a necessary thing to do to be able to get here. I was pretty vague when we originally got rid of the Z just because I wasn't sure how everything was gonna play out. By the way, I know this looks like a milk stain. It's not. I think this was clear coat from whenever I was painting. I've had this hoodie for years. It's the most comfortable hoodie ever. Stay committed. If you guys remember Robbie Ferreira. Yeah, but I got clear coat on it. So this is not milk, this is clear coat. That's why it looks like that. I refuse to get rid of this hoodie because I love it so much, and Robbie Ferreira doesn't make this anymore. So I'm holding on to this for as long as I can. Essentially what I wanted to tell you guys is that this is pretty much the reason why we got rid of the Nissan Z. Also, now that we have our very own place, we have an opportunity for more project cars. We have an opportunity for freedom. We're just free to do whatever the heck we want. That being said, I have some goals, and I have some big goals for this next year. I was thinking, let me grab a chair. A couple years ago, back when I had my Nissan Skyline, some of you guys might remember that car, at the tail end of my ownership, I made a vision board. And I made a vision board for the next year. And I actually found that vision board as I was moving. I looked over the vision board and I was like, wow. Actually, yeah, pretty much everything on that vision board came to fruition. And that, it definitely made me start to think as to why I stopped making a vision board. As silly as it may be, I think vision boards are pretty important because you get to see your goals and you get to put them down, and then you get to reflect on it and see what you were able to achieve and what you're able to accomplish. And I didn't even cross out anything that I had accomplished on that vision board. I didn't cross out anything that I was able to achieve, and I do regret that. That's mainly just because I didn't have a vision board placed where I see it every single day, and it kind of just, I guess I got lost in all my shit. And it was just out of sight, out of mind. But it was crazy to look back at it and think like, wow, I made this, wrote it down, and a lot of it came to fruition. And essentially, that is something that I want to do again. But this time, I want to hang it up somewhere. I think that we need to all set some goals for ourselves. Today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set some goals for myself. I'm going to hang it up in the garage. This thing looks even better in the sun. It just got freshly detailed. That's actually why it was here. We had a detailer come and detail all the cars. This is gonna be the first drive with the fresh detail. It's my brother's car, but I get the first drive on the fresh detail, so it's fair. This thing is so much freaking fun. I went out, got a poster board, and got pictures printed out for our vision board, and I'm gonna make that in just a few. What I just thought about is, hey, we have the BRZ in the garage. I thought to myself, what better way to break in the new garage than doing a mod, and especially on the BRZ. Let's do the first mod on the BRZ in the new shop. I have a few things laying around for this car. I don't really know where they are, but I have two options right there. We can install the short shifter, or we can install some new taillights that are in that box right over there. That short shifter is a chassis mounted short shifter, so we would have to put it up on the lift, drop the trans slightly to put it on, which I don't think we're gonna do that today. I have a few things planned out for the day, so that is gonna have to wait, but we do have some taillight. Is that a freaking spider swinging around? Oh my God, ooh, what the? Oh my God, that is a dead spider. fact about these taillights, these were actually the first set of clears ever made for this generation of BRZ. A few years ago when clear tails started taking over and just everybody and their mothers wanted clear taillights on their car, I really wanted clear taillights on my BRZ, but unfortunately, absolutely nobody made them. At that time, this car had just come out. There really weren't that many BRZ specific mods, especially taillights for these things right away. So I teamed up with my buddy Hollis, the Popo is coming, and he made me a full custom set of clear taillights, which are these things right here. So this is the OEM taillight with just a clear housing. I'm not really exactly sure how he does it. This was a very, very cool project, especially because we were like one of the first, or we were literally the first people to ever have it. This car was the first car to ever have a set of clear taillights, and it's awesome. I never wanted to get rid of these taillights, but they have come out with new sets of clears, which are pretty cool. And that's what we have in that box. I don't think, or I actually know for a fact, I will never get rid of this set of taillights just because they mean so much to me. These taillights are near and dear to my heart. These taillights mean the world to me. My buddy Hollis made them for me. We were the first ones. I mean, there's just so much history behind these taillights and they mean a lot to me. So just for that reason, I'm probably gonna like toss them up right there somewhere, and they're never gonna sell. They're just gonna sit on that shelf forever. These taillights are great. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not yellowing or anything like that. All the LEDs are perfectly fine, but I have ran this style for quite some time now. With the turn signals right over here, and then just this style, we've had it on here for quite some time. So we have something to switch it up. I already unboxed it and I already looked at it. I had to retape it before. I've actually had these for a couple months now. Here is the new set of Invoke clears that we have going on here. Now, oh fuck, I forgot these had to be re-cleared. No, shit. Okay, so these are not going on the car today. I actually got these taillights as a gift for my birthday, and I completely forgot that the top of these was a little worn out and they needed to be re-cleared. Now I was just gonna re-clear them, make them look all pretty. With the move going on and everything, I completely forgot that they had to be re-cleared. Looks like we aren't doing the first mod today after all. Look at this. I painted this in the G80 black color. That looks beautiful compared to this. Yeah, that looks like junk, but you can see that the taillights are just slightly different. Which one do I like better? I honestly don't know, but I do want to just try these out because it'll switch up the car a little bit. I've had these taillights forever. I just want to try these out. There is the difference. Fortunately, we couldn't do the first mod today. We could always do the short shifter, but I don't feel like it. We got the goods in this car. Here are the photos, and here is the poster board. So on second thought, I don't know if I'm gonna hang it up in the garage. I don't know if it'll match the vibe. I don't really know where to put it in the garage. I might end up just putting it inside the house so that way it's the first thing I see before leaving every morning. I think that might be better, like right above like my desk or something like that. Not sure yet. I might end up putting it in the garage, so who knows? I really don't know. But here is the vision board. Is it for the year? I don't know. This is all stuff that I am planning to get done this year. I really want to be able to achieve all of this by the end of 2026. Will it happen? I don't know. That's up to my hard work to decide. We are going to quickly speed run through this real quick. First of which is YouTube. I definitely want to get back to uploading consistently. My uploads have been pretty much all over the place. I just want to make sure that I am uploading consistently, regularly, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing it all the time. I want to stop slacking on it, and I want to consistently just pump out YouTube videos. I have a whole shop now, so I have really no excuse. I can't really say that, oh, I couldn't film because of whatever. I can film now. So that obviously leads to work hard, then work harder. Now, I may not be super consistent on YouTube, but honestly speaking, I am probably I am one of the hardest working people I know. I work around the clock. I don't take any days off. If I'm not doing YouTube, I do other things. Anybody in my life knows that I am a genuinely hard worker, and I take pride in that. But this year, I want to work even harder than I've ever worked before. I want to make sure that I am pushing myself to the absolute limit. I want to make sure that I end up in a freaking insane asylum with how much I'm working, because however hard I think I'm working, I know there's somebody out there working harder than me, and I want to make sure that I'm working harder than the next person. We're going to leave this middle part for last. I'm not going to talk about it just yet. This is what will be one day my dream garage. Ever since forever, I've always wanted my own garage. I've always wanted a dream garage with a lift and nice tools and all that stuff. And my goal this year is to turn this garage space into my genuine dream garage. And we're already starting to work on it, but I want to make sure that we really get there. We really want to change everything. Like I said, the floors, I want to make everything just perfect and make my dream garage. I do want to travel more. I feel like last year I didn't get to travel as much as I wanted to. So this year I do want to prioritize traveling a little bit more, whether it be flying, preferably driving. I hate planes. So I'd rather just drive somewhere, because if I drive somewhere, I could also throw this thing on a trailer and take it with me, which actually leads me to my next thing. We're going to skip over to this side right here. Right now I have an open car trailer. It's great. It works. I love my trailer, but God, do I want an enclosed trailer. And at that, a 2-car enclosed trailer. Now, whether I get a 2-car or 1-car enclosed trailer, I really don't care. I just want an enclosed trailer. Jumping back over to this side, over here is one of my favorite F82s. I forgot what his name is. It's like F82 Cello or something like that. But this guy, I follow him on Instagram. His F82 is one of the hardest F82s. Big turbo, satin silver with chrome TEs. Looks absolutely beautiful. That is something that I wanted to get this year. Me and my brothers love BMWs. My little brother used to have a G82. My other brother has a G80. I've never really had a BMW M car. I had an E36. I have that E46 out there. I really do want an F-Series BMW. And I not only want an F-Series BMW just for me, I want an F-Series BMW that me and my brothers can build together. I think it'd be really cool to have like an F82 between all of us. So I want to be able to get an F80 this year or an F82 and then build it with my brothers. And it'll just be like a car that we toss around and just, I don't know. I think it would be really cool. Up here, I know it's a crashed G80, but I don't really necessarily need a crashed G80. I do want to rebuild a crashed car this year. Something that I've never done is buy a car from Copart that's absolutely destroyed and make it beautiful again. And I love seeing that process. I see other people do it on YouTube, and it's just awesome to see how you can turn absolute junk into art. And that's something that I truly want to do. We already talked about the enclosed trailer. Next thing is this car. Obviously, I want a Corvette. Who the heck doesn't want a Corvette? But this isn't really what it is. I want to give away a car, at least one car. I want to build a car to how I like it, and then I want to give it away. I think it'd be really cool to just do that. I see people giving away cars. I mean, everybody, you guys see people are giving away cars left and right, and I think it's really cool to build something of your taste and then give it to somebody who likes it. I think that's really cool. The whole concept of that is amazing. I enter almost every single freaking giveaway that I see because I think the chance of winning something is really sick. So I want to give that to somebody else. I want to build something and I want to give somebody else the chance or give somebody else the car that I built. I think the whole concept is amazing and it's something that I truly want to do this year. Maybe at least one car. Maybe we'll do more than one. I don't know, but I want to do at least one car this year. That car right in the middle, right there, is the most beautiful, beautiful R8 I have ever seen. R8 has been my dream car forever. And I not only want an R8, but I want a twin turbo R8. Funny enough, these are both the same exact car because Finding Nick has the hardest R8 I've ever seen in my life. It's perfect. It's not too much. It's not too little. It's like so perfect. This right here is perfection. Who knows? Maybe he'll sell his and I'll magically come up with the money and I'll be able to buy his R8. I don't know. But the goal for this year is to buy an R8 and then twin turbo it, or buy a twin turbo R8. It's something that I've really wanted, something that I have wanted for a very, very long time. I think that this year is definitely going to be the year that I can make that happen. And you know what? If it doesn't happen, I'll end up with an F80 or an F82. So yeah, I did leave the space blank just for the fact that, hey, maybe, you know, I'll come up with a new goal and I'll throw it on here. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while since I made one of these. And the last time I made it, I didn't even realize, but I accomplished almost everything besides one goal that year. And again, like I didn't realize that until I was moving and I was like, oh wow, like I still have this. And I was like, holy shit. Obviously, where is it now? It's probably in the basement somewhere. I don't even know where it is. I packed it away again. We're gonna try to make this happen this year and I hope you guys join along for the ride.